Okay. So we are live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live. Are we live? We're live. I went to my Google Plus account. Wait, did you? Why is that disabled? I'm gonna do that. Disable. You can allow for Q&A. Just keep on faith in me. Oh, there you go. If it's not working, you might just go ahead and just go to the old one. Yeah. Got it? No. Will you see me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So why do I look purple? I don't know. Turn let's turn that way too. So that we can get like a warm okay. Let me hang up. And I'm gonna play Riley.
Okay.
Riding relevant.
Riley relevant.
All right, so I'm gonna delete the old one there. I'm gonna delete the old one. Delete. Yes. Yes, this is working. Awesome.
Hey.
Okay.
feel like I'm
What y'all watching back there?
It's the documentary.
That is the documentary. I was like, yo, that dude looked very familiar.
We do look purple. We blue black.
So crazy good.
Okay.
Keep your name and number, 'cause I can see you. You call him and tell him what I did. Hey there.
Then we can talk about some other artists who are Afrofuturists. Let's see.
Oh my God, and I left that book at home. My notebook with all the Afrofuturist artists that I like collected. Hey, so what I had to do, because I had a little bit of a hard time, so I had to like download the plugin for Google Talk. And then like you have to go to, are you in Firefox or what are you using, Chrome?
It's just us for right now anyway. I can see everybody who's in the chat.
Okay.
Ashley online.
Oh my God. No, stay on the phone with me. I want to make sure you get in. Stay on the phone. I want to make sure you get in.
I'm fishing. I call you back. This is business. I think it's dope that Organized Noise is playing, is like showing behind you guys. I love it.
Yay.
And I call you back. I call you back. I call you. I'm sorry. This is the life of an only child. That's what we do. Entertain ourselves.
Oh, there you are. I see your face.
Hey.
Watch your face. I see like your little picture. And I can't, and you're on mute.
Right. Hey. You're still on mute.
Oh. But you're on, your thing is muted. Your thing is muted. It's muted.
All right. How about now?
All right. Hang up.
Good. All right. Cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, it does do
Can't hear
that.
nothing from my laptop.
It pops up whoever's
I'm
talking.
using my sister's laptop. I feel like I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I feel cold. All right. How about now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I hear something.
Yeah, you're good.
Yo.
Awesome. What's up, Rylan? How you doing, sir? I'm so happy that you are joining us.
Good. I'm good. Yeah, man. No problem. It felt like something to be real dope to be a part of, since Jasmine brought me in it. So hey, yeah.
I'm so excited. All right, whenever Mama Carla get in, we can start.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and click record.
Awesome.
What? Please select or enable a software for real instrument track for your recording.
I'm cooking.
Yes,
I called you back.
I'm recording it now.
All right.
Oh, Rylan, let us see that. Let us see that T-shirt.
Hold
I'm going to
up.
steal that t-shirt.
I got it. No, I'm playing. Pure nutritional black facts. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's dope. I love it. So what's
Yeah,
0%?
online. Spring tea, I think.
Respectability.
Teespring. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I haven't worn it in a minute. I was like, I need a reason to wear a shirt. So figured.
That's awesome. That looks dope. I want one.
Or
You see, we ain't blue no more. We ain't blue people.
I'm pushing now. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What happened? You all right?
Yeah. I heard this Carla, so like a little bit, then it kind of disappeared. So I was just like, oh snap, what's that?
Oh, okay.
I see.
Where your mama at, Jazzy?
She is being shamed.
She getting chained? Okay.
Oh man,
I think she's
getting paid.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Rylan.
Hey, you
There
can't
she
see
go. Hey.
Hey.
her elbow.
Oh, we got blue again.
I think it's my shirt.
It might be your shirt, yeah. I was blue before though.
But can you see? Do I need to get down and lower?
Yeah, probably.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Yes. That's great.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. So everybody ready?
Yes,
Yes.
ready.
Well, we
Oh,
actually been live
as long
streaming
as
for a minute.
Wait, what?
But welcome everybody to the Country Cousins Chop It Up session for the Art of Organized Noise. Today we're going to be talking about the Art of Organized Noise documentary on Netflix. If you have not seen that, go out and get that, watch that, borrow your cousin's Netflix password,
Not mine though.
and like I do, and go watch Netflix, The Art of Organized Noise. So we have a couple of folks here. We have Rylan Relaford. He's a producer. His name is Nonsense, not spelled the regular way. It's Nahncenz, right?
You doing homework? Oh,
We got to go check his stuff out on SoundCloud. Rylan, what's the beat that got like over 1,000 clicks on SoundCloud?
Well, it's not necessarily a beat. I put up a Raekwon remix that I did over a Raekwon track with like the whole bunch of Wu-Tang members, and that's coming up on 10,000 plays on that one.
Okay.
Everything else in the double digits, but still, I'm grateful, man. It's creeping up, but you know, I was surprised, but you know, any play is a good play for me. Appreciate
That's what's
that.
up.
Yeah.
So go check him out. We also got Jasmine Williams over here. Her blog is Vegan Sister Girl. She is an awesome artist, awesome vegan, awesome blogger. The only vegan I think I love, like to the bone. That's probably because we actually blood cousins for real. But she's an awesome artist. As a matter of fact, I'm one of her patrons, and I will probably continue to be. Then we have Miss Carla Williams, her mama Carla. She has Carla Hill Photography, and her website, her Instagram, her Twitter is Photo Carla. So they will be joining us, and all of us are true 100% Georgians, right? Jasmine and Carla are currently in ATL. Rylan, you are in Augusta, is that correct?
Coolidge, Georgia, right now, not too far from Savannah.
Okay.
Greater Savannah.
And I was born and bred in Columbus or Catawba, Georgia, but that's closest to Columbus. So you are, you're talking to four Georgians, ATLians by proxy, if you will. So we're gonna get into it. First question for the group is, what were your thoughts and your feelings during and after watching the Organized Noize documentary?
I guess I'll start. I thought it was great, and I felt like such a sense of pride and like swelling up in me as I was watching it, like learning like the history, and also I really love this perspective, like the producer perspective versus the artist, which I'm so used to watching in documentaries. So yeah, I just really dug it, and it gave a lot of insight to like their contribution to music.
Dope.
I'll butt in with my thoughts on it. It was very, very dope. Very, very dope. Puts on a lot because I think the thing with organized, like the whole thing with organized, everybody in the South knew the deal when it comes to organized noise. They helped build one of the major sounds to bring it up to that mainstream success that they reached, and that gave the South some actual attention, other than being from like New York or Cali, one of those places. So putting it on more of a mainstream front for like everyone to see, that's kind of more of a, to more than everybody, like everybody around than just like America, because it's all over now. So definitely putting that out there was incredibly dope, and putting a few more things in perspective, especially around the producer aspect, like Jasmine had noted earlier, which I think was incredibly dope. The producer barely gets enough love on track, but when it comes to a group with such acclaim as Organized Noize, it is much well deserved, because it still feels like they're still like they're not appreciated as much as other producers. They're not as high up on the list as like Primo or Dilla or any producers or beat makers along the lines of that. But to finally get some type of recognition and to get it pushed out like that, I think was a very, very dope move for them. And it's mounting, and it seems like they're mounting some type of comeback, which I'm very, very happy for, and would definitely anticipating and looking forward to on that note. So,
right. Exactly. I mean, that was the same. I can echo both sentiments. I think that just it brought me back to a place. It brought me back to a place. I was born in '84, so I remember.
I graduated high school. Check it out.
I remember them days. You know what I'm saying? Hey, there you go. There you go. 84. I was the birthing class of '84. Exactly.
Oh,
I mean, it just brought me back to listening, like to two dope boys in the Cadillac, or listening to In Due Time. You know what I mean? Listening to these old Dungeon Family or Outkast tracks, and I think it gave it a sense of history that I don't think a lot of hip hop heads currently or anybody's born post 2000. I hate to categorize people, but anybody born, post 2000, 2005 really understand, where the history of it comes from. Like, especially since the South is ruling the game. Like, the South rules the game. If you're not from the South, then you are rapping like the South, or you're rapping over beats like the South. And
they don't even.
Right. They don't even understand, like, the history that came from that. And then, like, it really did, like, show how, it started from this, house, this dungeon, and then it moved in these three dudes to this whole movement. So I thought that was dope. I thought that was awesome.
It was just go ahead, Patrick. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I wanted to hear from you. Exactly.
Oh, okay. No, it was just very nostalgic for me. I mean, it just took me back because I lived during those times. You know what I'm saying? I graduated from high school in '84, so everything that they talked about in the video, I can recognize and identify with. So even down to Rico Wade, before the internet and all of that stuff was going on or whatever, he used to be in my cousin's beauty salon every weekend, telling us he was Rico Wade and he was Organized Noize and all of that. And it wasn't until recent, that I looked at the picture up and it's the same guy. I thought he was just lying. I'm like, you don't know no Outcast. But anyway, so that was pretty cool to see that.
Now, Jasmine told me, Mama Carla, that you have like the story that they tell on. What song is that, Jasmine?
Spody Odidopalicious.
The song that that actual you were there.
Yeah, that scene. Okay, so that was when he says, who else wanna F with Hollywood Court? So that's the neighborhood that I grew up in. That's my neighborhood. That's your cousin Trent's neighborhood. That's where we grew up. So that night that he's talking about in particular, it was at a nightclub called Charles Disco on the west side of Atlanta. And the guy there used to be fights there all the time, but the fight that happened there that night, one of my friends, his name was Charles, but it happened to be Charles. Well, anyway, he was shot and stabbed. That's a true story. So I actually know the night that happened and the people that were involved.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's awesome. I mean, that wasn't awesome that he got shot and stabbed. That's not awesome at all. But just having that relevancy. Who else would know that story if Andre didn't tell it? You know what I mean? Like, who else would? The world would never know. How folks was living. So that's dope. That's dope. As a part of, I guess, preparing for this. Wait, somebody say something?
Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I might have heard some feedback from myself. But as a part of preparing for this this Chop It Up session, I started looking up stuff on just Organized Noize and Outkast more and more, and I ran across this concept of Afrofuturism, which really didn't start with Organized Noize. It really started far before that. But I think with the advent of Organized Noize, Dungeon Family, Outkast, and that whole crew, starting to really bring it into hip hop. I think before then, you didn't really see Afrofuturism. And Afrofuturism just refers to black folks in future sci-fi kind of concepts. And everybody thinks Andre 3000 is crazy and out there, which he probably is, but I love him for it. But he brings this whole Afrofuturistic idea that's from kind of Parliament Funkadelic and these other groups. He's basically continuing to carry this torch. What do you think about Afrofuturism and how Organized Noize and Outkast maybe in particular were able to do that?
Well, a lot of my art now is moving towards Afrofuturism after I found out about it. And how I interpret it is because we grew up in the South and this is where pretty much all the pains of black people basically started, we created this futuristic society or world in order to be our true full black selves. So we were able to, without any of the stigmas of who we are or what people think we are, we're able to be ourselves. So that's why I applaud all of the people of the past, the parliaments and all that, and then up through even today with Big Crit, creating these spaces where black people can tell their stories, but it be a safe place where people are open to the concepts of and Janelle Monáe, open to the concepts of racism and discrimination, but through the lens of a futuristic society.
Right.
And I'm kind of talk when I kind of speak in this. I'm kind of going off the cuff. I don't have a lot of premeditated thoughts, but what a thought that really just popped in my head about it you know, that I think is pretty dope. And connecting like the Afrofuturism with the South, you know, dirty South. It's like down here, it's the gutter. It gets crazy, it gets rough, and you know, and when you think of the future, you think of all sleek, clean, cyborg mentality, like all the certain things like that, in contrast to the dirty South and the gutter, in a way to embody that. And since it's not here physically, it's always been like in our minds, and the way it's been brought out through art, I think is a pretty dope way to embrace that and bring it out, especially through the music. It was just a random thought that kind of popped in my head throughout this whole episode, but I think in a way that can correlate to bring it out, and it's a pretty dope visually later. I could bring out a lot of inspiration for a lot of the Southern artists now when it comes to like music and art. That's just.
And to like piggyback off you, like I can see that. What was I about to say? Lord, it fell out my brain. Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say. So, so like, down here, I was gonna do a photo project on this, but how these songs like gave us such pride in like these places, like these dirty quote unquote places that we are, that we went to them with pride. We walked down those streets with pride because we heard them affirmed on record. So I can see like what you're saying with that.
It's true, and I think that's one. There's a couple of things happening, I feel like, in society today. One is the fact something that's happening now that has always been happening, which is the appropriation of blackness, right? And so you see it in, like, me and my wife love to watch Food Network, and the whole thing about like high value cooking now is they're cooking stuff black folks was cooking, you know, for years and decades. They now cooking pig feet and pig ears, and they're cooking livers and all this kind of stuff, or chitlins and all that kind of stuff, and they're trying to make it, or they call it pork tripe, you know, instead of chitlins, but they try to make it, you know, they're appropriating these black, you know, these black flavors, and you see it in, you know, fashion, where, you know, the New York runway last year, they had the do-rags, and they were called a silk.
It's a head wrapper.
I was like, really, dude?
Yeah.
Like, rocking those in the hood for decades. Like, you just gonna try to steal it,
right?
And I mean, just it's the appropriation, and then you see it in music. Coming back to, you know, the music aspect of it, you see it with, you know, our sound, like the black, even the what's that girl from Australia?
Lord?
Was it not Lord? The one who was supposed to be hip hop, but then
Azalea.
Like, you know, when she came over here, she wasn't rapping like, you know, with an Australian accent or nothing. She was, you know, trying to appropriate this blackness. But particularly, I think the music industry, especially the hip hop industry, is appropriating this Southern blackness. You know what I mean? And you have people who do it very good, very well, or who speak from a genuine place, like you said, like Big Crit, like Janelle Monáe. And then you have folks who and they're actually from the culture, right? Big Crit is from Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? He mentioned Jackson State in almost every album he does. And Janelle Monáe, I think she's from Detroit.
She's from Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah. So, you know what I mean? And Kansas City has that kind of Midwest, but they got a Southern feel to them too. But it's just like,
he's in the Dungeon family, so it fits.
True. You know what I mean? But there's others who just, I don't think that they appropriate it well, or it really does. I'm a music snob anyway, especially when it comes to hip hop. So some of these cats that are coming up, like Young Thug and to a certain extent Future, I don't really give them no respect. That's just me, though. I know there are people that are going to disagree with me, but that's just me. You know what I mean? So I lean more towards the Big Chris. I lean more towards the Outkast, or even the Jay Electronicas, you know, of the world or whatever. So I mean, that's my thing. I do understand that folks need to ride and groove too, you know, but I don't know why Young Thug is on. That's just my little PSA. I have no idea why he has a career.
I tried so hard, like, I'm trying to open myself up to it because I hear like really great things about the guy, but like I don't know. I do try to open my ear up to it. Like now I'm trying to move towards it, even though it's a very hard effort for me.
Right.
I'm gonna step in and say that I love Rich Homie Quan. And like Young Thug. And this takes me back to when I went to college back in 84, 85. And all of my friends were loving Luther Vandross and blah, blah, blah. And I was all into LL Cool J and all of the hip-hop raps and everything. So that's just me. I went to a party, an upscale kind of party one time, and they were like, well, how are you doing? I said, oh, I'm just chilling. And he's like, chilling? And I'm like, yes, and you're illing. So I'm Young Thug, and I love Rich Homie Quan. and 2 Chainz.
I love 2 Chainz. I do love 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz is different. 2 Chainz is a different beast.
Oh, yeah, he's different. Yes, he's different.
I see what was done there.
Well, and that's the thing. Like people don't know that.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. But I mean, people don't know their history, right? Because 2 Chainz came from Titty Boy, who like he's been around since like Ludacris. You know,
yeah,
he's been around. But it's true. Like I don't know. Maybe one day I'll open my ear up to the young cats. I don't know. My thing is like if you can't freestyle and you wearing tight jeans, I can't. I don't know. Maybe it's a generational thing.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to snob. I'm trying to get out of it though. But I've been there since like high school.
Right. I'm like, yeah, I like what I like. If you don't have no, if you don't like it, then
what if?
You obviously have no taste. Like that's.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because I feel like I low key feel as if it's a necessary evil needed for everything to turn back around and head back in the right direction. If you're gonna look at it in that way, because they're getting their success and they're getting their forms or whatever, but there's always been that alternative, right. And there have been moments where you can where people. The alternative actually has been brought up to the front part. Even back in the purest age, in 80s and 90s, there was whack shit. And that shit phased out just like everything else. So I feel like even if you don't like artists like that, cause yeah, I don't like the biggest fan of them, but yeah, I'll nod my head on if it pops on the radio because the beat banging. That's all it is, whatever. But I do feel like it's, cause for everyone that's not the music snob, you got casual listeners that are kind of like force-fed and brainwashed and things, and that may be all they know, right? Which is kind of messed up. And then if it can be a bridge, like even if you're not about it, you're like, yo, there is something better, and then you can kind of show them that along that line. That's why because I feel like I felt like I was a purist / snob. And then, I kind of been trying to give everybody a shot, and you can try to see where I can feel some type of hip-hop feel amongst some artists. But sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So, but either way, I do feel like there's always been, a type of balance between, the stuff that remains classic and the whack, and the quote-unquote whack.
Oh, 1 second, guys. I'm going to mute us real quick.
Okay. No, but it's true. I mean, it's true. Andre 3 Sacks actually said the same thing. He said, rap is kind of like a pendulum. You didn't always have super conscious. Back in the 80s, you had Sugar Hill Gang, and they were talking. It was basically party, and then you got into more conscious, and he said the pendulum kind of swings back and forth. And he said what you're seeing is the pendulum all the way to the right, and now it's going to be swinging back. So, I mean, possibly, I will say this, though, however, and this brings us into another topic of conversation, is the industry's influence on organized noise, or the industry's influence on the sound, especially the sound of hip-hop. I remember one of the things that stuck out to me in the documentary was the fact that the industry's influence on, LaFace's power over like the perpetuation of this sound. And I realized like industry has a whole bunch of influence over what gets played, what doesn't. I think less so now because technology and because of social media and because you have all these other outlets so readily available. But it was interesting to me that at one point I felt like Organized Noize could have been big or could have still been big or whatnot if Capitol Records, had pushed some of their artists, but they had different visions. And I just wondered to myself, like, what would it have been like if LaFace had paid them their publishing or paid them their contracts like they were supposed to, or what would it have been like if Capitol Records had, decided to say, yeah, we're gonna let you, exert creative control, or what, just what would have been had not the industry influence been there and the creatives have been allowed to create.
Once because that whole industry thing, they got the money, so they got the power. So and when I guess I wouldn't know because I ain't signed or anything like that. But it always came to a sense that when you were under another label such as Interscope or another thing like that, you have to become like some sort of machine. You got to pump out the same hits as everything before, So it's always and then when it comes to something like that, the integrity behind your music and your brand can be a little bit lost in a bunch. Because that's when everything kind of started to hit that decline. When they brought it up in the documentary. Because they were cranking out all this stuff in the dungeon in their basement crawl space, and everything turned out to be much more organic compared to like other and then everything got processed and pushed out so quickly amongst other things. So of course like integrity's lost, so is some of their qualities, because I'm kind of trailing off and trying to stay on point with it. But definitely that was the main thing I was trying to bring up in that whole spill.
No, absolutely. I definitely agree. I would say, where do you see Southern hip hop, and this is for the group, where do you see Southern hip hop going in the next 10 to 20 years?
That's a good question.
20 years? It's interesting because Southern hip hop, the Southern hip hop and the Southern foundation has always kind of brought the innovation and the spin to the mainstream type thing, and it has I do feel like Southern hip hop in some ways has been appropriated, and they brought some new things to bring up to the pyramid, because with music, the industry now, it's a lot of copycat. There's a lot of copycat business going on, something that sounds like this, or I want something that sounds like such and such, or something that sounds like so and so, whatever's popular. You got Future, then you got Designer. So,
right.
But like that. But I feel like, because that's been the thing with the Southern and black people when it comes to not more than music, just anything. We've been down in this thing, and they give us whatever, and they take whatever we got, and we find a way to make something else happen out of nothing. And that's always kind of been our thing. So, in some ways, I feel like there should be more of an independent rise, other than just going under some major label machine or something of some sorts. Because I fully feel like major labels are kind of phasing out right now anyway, especially only really in hip hop. In the top 40 pop stuff, they can have that because the white people in there. But other than that, when it comes to the Southern hip hop, I feel like it would be more of an independent thing, maybe similar to the No Limit Cash Money rise or whatever. Or That's what I would want to hope, because a lot of more artists are going in the independent route anyway. Because even when it comes to major labels, they're not giving you any attention unless you already have the attention in the first place.
Right.
They just want to stick their name on it and say like, hey, we're a part of this. We're getting to cut that check too. So nothing really too simple. But what I would like is for it to have more of like that independent, rise, instead of like doing like falling for like the machine as in the major labels. But that's just me. I don't. That's my thing. That's what I'd like.
What would I like to see?
Oh, and Chris like number one, and like Chris gets recognized as the best rapper alive.
Oh,
but,
yes. Yeah. I would like to see a little bit. I would like us to tap more into the futurism, even though it hasn't really gone away. Because I know Future, he does it. I'm not sure where Space Ghost Purpose is from, but he does it too. Like all these like other Southern artists, but
okay.
I would like to see more of a shift towards that. More shift towards I don't know. I would want to hear more spacey stuff. I think that's just because that's where my brain is at right now. But just taking it to the next level. So taking all the trap that we've done, taking all of the like bass music that we do, taking all of that and like mosh podging together and make something super dope and new, something that like hasn't been heard. That's where I want it to go.
That's true. I would say, yeah. I'll be waiting for the next innovation of South music, and specifically Southern hip hop, because I think that other innovations have going. I feel like you can't have techno without having the South hip hop. I feel like you can't have BDM without having down South hip hop. I think that a lot of these beat or electronic based music genres that are coming up now wouldn't be able to be there if it wasn't for some of these southern producers, Organized Noize, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, or any of the Polo the Dawn, even these older these cats that you would say, oh yeah, I remember these producers back when, Jazzy Faye even, some of those sounds that they produced, some of those instrumentation that they decided to do. Janelle Monáe is a freaking genius. Janelle Monáe puts me in the mind of Quincy Jones and Luther Vandross in the way that she scores a song or she scores an album. You know what I mean? So, and she uses all of those. She'll go, Outcast on you, but then she'll also go Jackson 5 on you, and then she'll also go a little rock, or she'll do all of this stuff, and all of that or blues, and all of that comes from the South. You know what I mean? So I say I am excited, and I anticipate to see what the new sound is going to be coming out, or the new old sound. Because I feel like the new sound encompasses all that came before it. So when we're talking about Afrofuturism, Afrofuturism has along with it a sense of social justice, because it is seeing the future through the African diaspora, basically. And we see it in Due Time, in Outkast's song In Due Time. United States giving out milk and cheese to pacify. I'm sure they got a cure for AIDS, but yet it's classified. We see it in Dungeon Family, high is high, low is low. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. We see it in multiple, Janelle Monáe songs, or Big Crit songs, or any Southern artists. Obviously, we're not ignorant to, or Erykah Badu, or any of these artists. How does social justice inform, Afrofuturism inform Southern hip hop? Because, and I'll add this into it, not all artists in the South are talking about you know, Southern or social justice, obviously, right? But not all artists everywhere are talking about social justice. But not all artists in the South are talking about social justice. When they, I think it was last year or a couple years ago, where they played that clip. Was it Young Thug or was Rich Homie Quan, whichever one it was, that they asked him. It was Young Thug, right? And they asked him about a shooting. You know, he said, "We don't worry about that. We worry about getting money." You know.
Ooh, so that's when I fell out with him. I tell you, that's when I fell out with him, and I just scratched him off the list. But some kind of way, he has crept his way back into my heart.
Like that old cockroach that just won't go away.
But yeah, that's when I was done with him. I mean, I thought that was awful, and that was terrible, and that was a bad misrepresentation of where this should go. So,
along those lines, do you think that artists have a responsibility, you know, to speak?
I do think that artists have a responsibility. I mean, I haven't always thought that. I'll be honest with you. 'Cause my baby right here,
Prude.
yes, she used to cry because I thought music. I mean, I'm just jamming in the car and I was playing Kia, My Neck, My Back, and she would cry. She hated that. She didn't want to hear it.
I still hate that song.
But
I'm listening. I'm gonna turn on the light.
Yes.
It's weird now because, you know, as it is an artist's duty to reflect the times, it is also now a new responsibility for artists and musicians to provide a remedy. Because a lot of people turn to art as a form of, you know, at least if not reflecting what everyone else is thinking, giving possible solutions to what everyone else is thinking as well. So, and I do feel like there isn't a really good balance when it comes down to that, but it's always, but when it is highlighted in a spotlight to let you know, like, all right, we do have some sort of possible answer for anything. That at least the fact that someone brought it out is a big enough response, and you know, because the artists are usually the ones to spark that. Like, you know, Beyonce hitting Formation set the world on fire for more than one reason, you know, besides the performances. You had the message and everyone felt some type of way. Be it anger, empowerment, anything about it. You know, artists are now sparking a lot of emotion for everyone right now. So,
and I also think like there should be a balance. So like we have the Kendrick and we have the of Jake.
Jazz. Up.
Lost you.
Oh, yeah, I think they froze. Did they?
Oh, did I freeze? Oh,
yeah.
no.
I think
that might be.
Okay, you back. You back.
Oh, we're back.
You back, girl. We got you.
Okay, what did I leave off? Oh, so we have the Kendricks and we have the J. Coles who talk about these social issues and bring them to light. But then we have Big Crit and we have even Janelle Monáe. She kind of toes the line between like the celebration of Black culture and also like talking about the social issues. And then we also have like the turn up music and we have like all of it. And I feel like that is also very much needed. Like to show that we are like a complex being. So our music should reflect all of it.
I like that. I like that idea that we can be both and we can be multifaceted. Like I hate going into conversations because I'm frequently involved in community conversations where we're talking about, you know, different things facing the Black community, and somebody will bring up police brutality, but almost immediately somebody will bring up Black on Black violence as if, you know, this issue trumps that one. Like, we can't talk about all of it at the same time. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so they're saying, oh, well, we can't talk about police brutality until we talk about we killing our own selves. It's like, Okay, and everybody kill their own self. Like that's a.
First of all,
Yes.
if you don't
black on black crime. There's white. There's black on black, white on white, Jewish on Jewish. You know, Arabian on Arabian, Egyptian on Egyptian. Like so it really just ticks me off. And then also thinking that like black people are one monolithic group. You know, so even through my music snobbery, I do understand that there are things that will speak to me that won't speak to the fan of maybe this person or that person. You know what I mean?
Every now and then you want to pop that coochie. Oh, never mind. Take that part out. I'm sorry, Dad.
We are leaving that in because it is necessary and it is true.
Sometimes it's Trina and Kaya, man.
Sometimes.
Kaya, it's true.
That's true. Sometimes we want to dance. Sometimes we want to party. You know, you can't be sad all the time. You can't be sad all the time. It's
denying that.
Nah, it's funny because the next thing I was going to bring up is just other artists from the South that are not. There's this cat called Lecrae. Lecrae is a Christian rapper, and he's dope, like killing the game. And I think that the rise of Christian rap, dope Christian rappers has taken a turn for the better. You know what I mean? Lecrae's from Texas, and it's interesting how and this is a whole nother. I'm not gonna go off on this all the way because this could be a whole nother conversation within itself, crossing Christianity and hip hop and or religion and hip hop. Yeah. You talk about Wu-Tang, you talk about all these kind of cats. But when you talk about Lecrae, and Bun B, he's doing songs with Bun B. He's doing songs with he did a song with Big Crit. He did a song with like just these different artists that people wouldn't think are quote unquote Christian. Or then you have like cats like Kirk Franklin who are doing songs with Kanye West, or who are featured on the Kanye West album on Tidal. It's just interesting seeing that conversation happen. You know what I mean? And in a big part of the South. Go ahead, Rylan. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying because I seen I don't know his name particularly, but one of the major Christian hip hop artists besides Lecrae just headlined and staged on I think South by Southwest that just went down. And he was on one of the major stages and he just headlined that thing, and that was like a big move that I thought was pretty dope, especially when it comes to the whole Christian hip hop area. I just wanted to throw that in there in the midst of all that. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's all pertinent because when you think, especially in Southern hip hop, when you think of the South has traditionally been, the quote unquote Bible Belt, right? The Christian capital of the country, and so especially in Southern hip hop, we do hear Negro spirituals being echoed, into some of the lyrics, and you hear, some of those culturally Christian and culturally Southern references being referenced in the music. You know what I mean? So I think it's very relevant, to speak of. Who I want to ask the group, who are some of your favorite Afrofuturists or Black Southern artists that you feel like are getting their due, not getting their due, whoever, whatever you might feel?
Mommy?
Yeah. I don't know. I want to say, you mean like new or just
in general?
In general.
Okay.
New.
Have you all heard of a hip hop rapper called Kilo Ali?
Kilo. I think he was mentioned in the Organized Noize soundtrack.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I think that he doesn't get his just due. He came from Bankhead Courts, and if you look him up, he has a lot of good songs, and I really, really, really enjoy him. I don't think he gets the props and the just that the acclaim that he should get.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
He's just one of them, but I mean, there are lots of them too, like Mojo, and but anyway, that's just going deeper than you guys are ready for.
Throw them names out. I need to know.
Names out. Throw them names out.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Yes, what about you?
Ooh, this is hard. Southern artist, Afrofuturist artist. Okay, so there's this group that was under Parliament. They called the Brides of Frankenstein.
Okay.
Oh my God. Or Funkenstein. Let me stop. The Brides of Funkenstein. And they were so good. And like, I got really, really into like the funk and all of that. So that's how I got privy to them. But like, they only came out with one album, but their voices were beautiful and they were futuristic. And they talked about love. They talked about pain, and I love them. So I guess that's an Afrofuturist artist that I don't think gets their just due.
What about Johnny Page?
Oh yeah, but he's not beautiful. Yeah,
yeah.
My little brother, Johnny Page.
That plug in.
Shameless plug. There, exactly. I'm gonna steal him before Rylan steals him. I'm gonna say Big Crit.
Oh yeah.
Big Crit has been.
Right.
I know. I knew Rylan was there. But I want to say
I ain't even mad, man.
He's one of the most underrated, but one of the most, multi-talented, multifaceted artists out there. I wouldn't even just say, Southern rap artists. I wouldn't even just say hip hop artists. I would just say period, because he's a producer and he's a rapper, and he does his own concepts. He does his own albums. He rarely gets the shine that he's supposed to get. But he keeps on grinding, and he's a contemporary artist, but also has those callbacks to old school hip hop. You know what I mean? He's got this joint on Better This Way that features Ludacris that is similar to Ludacris' Back for the First Time album. I was like, God, dog, I feel like I'm listening to straight up old school Ludacris back then, And then
he also brought the young with the new. Like he brought K-Camp in on that song.
Right.
The young Atlanta artist.
So I mean, it's just crazy, how you have he's one of mine, I would say. He's one of mine. Also, I'll say Lecrae. And I think that he's not getting his shine just because people don't necessarily look at Christian hip hop and say that's a viable, source of quality music. But definitely Lecrae is killing it. He's from Texas, and I think he's from Dallas, I want to say. And he also big ups a lot of old school rap heads. Bun B, like I said, he got a joint with Big Crit. He got a joint with Paul Wall. You know what I mean? Like, killing the game.
How do you spell that? I'm gonna look him up. Lecrae.
Lecr. I think it's A-E. Lecrae.
She spelled it right the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Now that I took yours.
You see my face. I've been trying to think of another one. No, but I think I would say. I mean, other than I guess the popular names, another person. He's not necessarily a Southern rapper, but I do think since he has so many different influences and multifaceted, and I do think the South is a part of his inspiration in his creative process. I'm gonna throw out Logic out there.
Okay.
And his last couple of albums, I'll throw him out there in a minute because his last projects, Greatest Story Never Told, it's been crazy. And he's had the crazy thing about it. The only thing behind him, he doesn't have the mainstream numbers, but he's always had that fan base. He's been able to do anything. He can bring out his vision, put it into a solid album. He can rap his ass off, and he's rapping. He's versatile when it comes to that, and he can rap over the boom. He can rap over the '90s boom bap. He can rap over the trap. He can rap over the banging 808s, like all that type of stuff. He still finds a way to make it happen and cut through. So I'll throw him in there, even though he's from Maryland. I still see a bit of the influence because he.
That's the South.
Yes.
That ain't the deep South.
Well, DMV.
It's south of the Mason.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No doubt. I didn't know how y'all was going. I ain't know my geography less. I ain't been a while. It's been a while, so I couldn't really. I know. But either way, since he got crit, I'll throw him out there because that's who I've been listening to lately. Besides Crit. I've been going crazy for Crit lately, man. But other than that,
because we're approaching an hour, so any final thoughts? Any final ideas we didn't talk about you want to bring up?
I just wanted to say, for me, bringing it back to the documentary on the art of organized noise, unfortunately, I don't have as much as a nostalgic hold as Miss Carla or Patrick, but because me honestly, I didn't really get into I wasn't really able to get really into hip hop until I was in my later teens. I was in a strict Christian family household, but growing up, you still heard things because you were still in Atlanta,
right?
In the prime in that little heyday or whatever. So watching the documentary and being able to connect things and make it all make sense. Ludacris was my first favorite rapper, and finding out that Organized Noize actually put together Saturday, I lost my fucking mind. Okay, me and Jasmine were watching things over the phone, and as soon as the beat cut on, I was like, "Ain't no way!" And then you Google the research, and you're like, "Oh!" And then I'm losing my mind. Had to pause it and everything. We was watching all at the same time, but certain things like that, it was just crazy for me to put two and two together with the documentary and find everything out. But yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there because just that's the biggest thing about the documentary. Just helped me to. That was another thing that made me love it so much because I was being able to put two and two together with Organized Noize. Because yeah, you know about Organized Noize and you know they're great, but you just didn't realize how great.
Right.
And once you kind of get into that, it deepens the pride and the appreciation that Jasmine was speaking about earlier on the whole matter of the subject. So yeah, that's, I guess, my final thoughts on the documentary, but definitely a great one. If you haven't seen it already, please do. It is so dope in so many levels and pioneered so much things that we didn't even know was possible, especially from the South. So big ups to them. Big ups to Quincy Jones III, I think, that put it out, and everything on that. And that's me. That's that's how I'm ending all my little spills and rants on these Chop It Up talks.
Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the documentary immensely, and I really am glad that you guys included me in this vlog or podcast. What is this anyway? Is it?
I don't know. Live broadcast.
A live broadcast session, including, the elderly.
You was cousin too.
Yeah,
anybody that got original first-hand knowledge.
Stories.
Right, baby. From Atlanta, GA.
Hey.
Jack, don't stop me. Sorry, no. West Side. No.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Go, Jack.
So my mom is a queen. We're just gonna go off and say that first. But I really enjoyed this conversation. This was great, guys. And yeah, back to the documentary, just feeling that nostalgia, like I said before, and all of that goodness. Talking about this Southern culture, really, you know it. But once you really start opening your mouth and talking about it, it's whoa, this is great, and it's great to be from the South and be a part of this and be able to talk about it and know how deep this history goes. So yeah. I really enjoyed that, and like the great Andre said, The South got something to say.
Hey.
We done said it.
Got something to say. It's true. So with that, I guess we'll conclude our Chop It Up session. This has been the Country Cousin Chop It Up session. We're talking about organized noise, the Art of Organized Noise documentary on Netflix right now. We had the lovely Jasmine, Nicole Williams, Carla Williams, and Rylan Relaford joining us. Any links to their work or any links to their blogs or anything can be found below the link to the broadcast. I'm going to be posting, hopefully, this thing recorded, and hopefully we'll be posting this conversation in the Facebook group. Join us, join Country Cousins. We got, links, funny stuff, anything country related, and we hope to be doing this again. Thank y'all so much for joining us, or those that are watching later. Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to D Trail, who wrote Grady Baby, and I want to give a shout out to Johnny Page.
Hey.
JOHNNY, Page like the book.
Okay. JOHNNY, Page like the book. We're gonna have to. Hey, give me that link.
Let me get my plug in too. Hold up.
Yeah, get your plug. Get your plug.
Okay, let's get these church announcements.
SoundCloud, nonsense, anything nonsense. You'll find me on the social media. NAHNCENZ. Check Bandcamp, SoundCloud. I'd rather be barefoot. Beat P. Check that out. More music on the way. Look, man,
That's bad. Y'all.
Shout out to you. I'm done. I'm gone. On that, I'm dropping the mic.
Y'all can catch me, Patrick Williams on Facebook, Prolific Wisdom, everywhere else, Instagram, Twitter. Hit me up, or in the admin, message me, you want to get let into the group, please do. You gotta prove to me you the South though. You country cousin. Prove to me. No, it's not. But if you got love for the South, let me know. And appreciate y'all. Bless y'all. Until we meet again, peace.
Bye, y'all. Bye.
A-Town down.
Yes.
A-Town down.